Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol and I will be your host today. And I am here with Rebecca. Here she is.
Hello. I think this is the first time I've ever been here when you started.
Amazing. Nothing to write. Well,
Cool.
one or two other times.
No, I don't think I've seen you do what you just did to get started before. I've come in early, just not at I never beat you in before.
Well, I think this change in dosage on my medication is starting to help. I went on the lifeboat today and I felt connected like I hadn't been able to in a few weeks.
Oh, good.
Like I felt that familiar feeling of what it used to feel like to be on the boat, you know?
Yep.
And so I'm encouraged by that.
Excellent. Yeah. How long ago did they change your meds?
They got me on this new one. I want to say September-ish, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And they just upped the dosage of it. And yeah. Because just gradually over time, I was starting to get, it just hits me all of a sudden like, oh, I'm back where I was, you know?
Yep.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good to see
I
you.
always love your names. It's awesome. Hi, Cosmic.
Hey, Cosmic. How you doing? You're up. Look at you being up all early.
Yeah, I've been up for a couple of hours, so because I've been missing a lot of the boat, and I missed some big news yesterday. So I'm like, I need to keep watching.
Yeah.
I missed the boat because I've been super fatigued. So what did I miss, if I may ask?
He's going to be turning the captain's chair over to Calhoun and maybe some others.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. He's kind of been struggling. He said not with the trolls so much as the fans, because the ones that are like, oh, why don't you talk about this that he's talked about 3,000 times, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I
that wasn't all. I mean, but that was something that he talked about when he announced it. Go ahead and you say what you were going to say about it, because you probably caught more of it.
I can't imagine that doing multiple shows a day is sustainable over a long period of time and having an actual life, So, right. And it's something that he's kind of been mentioning for a while. I was thinking, right, because I saw it in Discord and I thought, it's a health announcement, and I was super worried, and I had a look.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh, thank God, he's just pulling back a little bit. I'm like, oh. But yeah, it's understandable. This can't be life. Recovery can't be life.
That's right. No, it can't, because it's not recovery. That's right. Part of recovery is to be able to live your life.
Exactly.
Because your life had become unmanageable before.
Yeah. And he's been doing it for 3 years. I've been doing recovery has been seriously part of my life for way less than that. Yeah. But it feels like a job now.
And especially the first couple of years, it is your job. That's your kind of your only job. And and even after that, it still has to be the first thing.
Yeah.
Because you have to put it ahead of everything else so that anything that comes ahead of it will not be lost.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, And it also stops being fun, because I don't think life is terrible without fun. So things should be fun. And
that's right.
When it stops being fun, what's the point? It just becomes a mission.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing he's made it he's lasted this long, and I'm glad that he's got the crew to keep the boat afloat, so to speak.
You guys, I'm sorry I hadn't been keeping up with the chat. Hey, Matrix, Tara, Jen Marie, hey, Crystal, a Rolling Stone, hey. We got somebody echoing on us here. Let's see. Echo.
I'm going to Cairns.
RC Firefly, hello, good to see you again. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes, it is. It's I don't know why biology has to be so tricky sometimes, but it just sometimes some of us have it that way.
It's all the chemicals we
Mischief.
imbibe, like the water.
Yeah.
Water's a chemical.
Right?
H2O.
Well, I'm sorry you've been having a crazy sleep pattern, Mischief, but I'm glad to see ya. Anique, hey. I can drop a link for Tara. Yes, I can. Here we go.
I think Crystal wanted one as well. But
Okay.
same. So yeah, I'm going to Cairns tomorrow. Impromptu. Well, it was going to be next week. Yeah, I had a full on panic attack about it yesterday because I don't like change. Like plans being changed, and this one, it's not just been moved. It's been moved forward. So I'm like, now I'm all like, I gotta pack. But it's tropical up there. It's not going to be very cold, so I don't need to take too much. But yeah, it's that's why I was up early this morning. I don't know where to start. Washing. I'll start with washing.
I was going to ask how did things go with the what do I want to call it, squatter?
Well, he brought his daughter home with him yesterday, so I couldn't talk about it because I won't start anything like that. And I kind of need him to be here while I'm gone now, so that Jaden's got somewhere. If he needs to go to the shop, Jaden can go to the shop. But he doesn't actually have to be because I've got that worked out as well. So I just couldn't talk. I couldn't do it with Mia around because it's like, for me to say that would be like, I don't want Mia here, and that's not the case. Like, Mia being here is the whole reason he's here in the first place, and that was, it's okay. But I don't want to be used as a babysitter either. Like, don't complain about not having your daughter, and then use me as her entertainment, and just go sleep in your room as soon as you get back.
Thank you. Yeah. And she can't be in there with him? What's the deal there?
She doesn't want to be in there watching TV while her father sleeps. Yeah, she just rather hang out. She wants connection. Just like everybody else. I sit there and I talk, and she does my hair, and we have a nice time, and that's the whole point of her being here, is because I want to be that person for her, that nice, stable, well, my version of stable person who is going to be there for her forever, and
I did see.
And that's kind of what I want to make clear, is that I'm not friends with him because I like him. I like his kid.
Life's good. Hey, good to see you guys. Hey, Monique, good to see ya. Shoot. So even your carer couldn't really say anything, huh?
See, it's all based on me, because everyone does stuff that I'm comfortable with, and until I'm comfortable, no one will say anything.
Okay.
So she'll wait till it gets back. If I can't say anything, and if it comes down to it, I will, because I don't want to live like this, and I've already gone through it. How many times? I've got him to leave twice now. So the third time's a charm.
There you go. There you go.
So it's all good. But I got a new teapot yesterday too. Isn't it cute?
It is.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
and a new teacup. Yeah, well, see, I'm deciding to fully play into the tea lady role.
I'm gonna be your tea buddy. I've got turmeric and ginger tea in here.
Oh, nice. That's like is it golden tea when it's turmeric?
I'm not
or
sure.
Golden milk. One of them, you can have golden milk, and it's really good for you. But this is Russian Caravan.
I'm glad too, a Rolling Stone. It's been time. He was supposed to take that vacation a few months ago, and the person that was supposed to take over for him got injured, and he did not get 1 day of vacation. And he's been going on it ever since. And so, yeah, I'm glad too. I don't know how he's done it for 3 years, 2 shows a day, every day.
Well,
he needs
and there's
to
lots
express
of
himself.
people who've made ripples in their own channels that are, offshoots of the boat. So it's not like people aren't going to have the support they need. And there's always
They're going to
Discord
be
and
able to go
Facebook.
somewhere. That's kind of
Yeah.
how I view being able to take weekends, is,
Yeah.
there are people that are starting to fill in those spaces. And, I can't keep stressing my husband out, every single day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you got to
yeah.
have some time for yourself. You need a holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be prepared to do a show, because his show is more of a monologue, which means
That's
you
right.
have to work everything out as if there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did a presentation on Columbine. I did a presentation on GIS, some military stuff, and each one of those took a hell of a long time for me to get used, for me to know the material enough to be able to present it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's got. I mean, granted, I know he's talking his wheelhouse, but still, how do you get up there and not say, "Oh, uh, okay, oh, we got
Exactly.
this." That yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
and, I mean, I know he's good at public speaking, but still, you have to be prepared, and
You
just the amount
do.
of that would take. And also being a recovery show, he's going to have interaction with email, and that's his big thing that he's been talking about is all the email he's been getting as
Yeah.
far as and that yeah, you at some point you have to distance yourself. It's a
Yeah.
shame, yeah,
It is. But, at the same time, it's not. He needs to have a life. He deserves
yeah,
that,
yeah,
you
Well, I
know?
think there's also that thing where it happens with parasocial relationships where, even though he does have, a relationship and he, talks to us through chat. There's also,
Not the
when people
same.
put people too high on a pedestal,
Mhm.
it's like, they're not allowed to have human responses or human reactions to things that would set anybody off.
yeah,
That's
But
right.
because they're the captain of the boat or the creator of a channel or whatever, they're not allowed to be anything but perfect because they're going to have a
Yeah.
whole bunch of people who will send them a bunch of emails, and
yeah,
and go down to the minutia of why that particular person thinks the creator isn't perfect. And I think it's really unfair because you know what, if you don't like what someone's saying or what you're watching, change the channel, turn it
oh,
off. You don't
oh
need
yeah,
to be there and hate watch, because I think that's a lot of what people do these days is
I
hate
think
watch.
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
and you
I
have the
I
fact,
I'll never understand that and don't want to, but yeah.
that
well,
his email's set up to talk to people with emotional needs, and that's well and noble. But the problem is, it's very easy to get overloaded with it, and how he's been able to do it that long, because he's
Yeah.
also, I mean, because not only is he taking in all this stuff saying you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, and everything else, he's also dealing with people. Hey, I'm struggling with this, and you know what, that's a real struggle, and he really does want to help, and that's part of
Yeah.
the problem. It's so easy to get overextended doing something like that.
Right.
and we only see a very small amount of what he puts up each day.
That's
We don't know
right.
what's going on in the background, who he's helping, all that sort of stuff, and it's
Yeah.
none of our business. It's just that's what I don't get. It's like why do I as a person in and this goes with everything. Why do I care what Princess Kate is doing or Princess Megan or whatever,
Well,
what they're
because I
wearing, what
do.
they're doing.
I do too,
Yeah,
a little bit.
sure, that's fine, but we shouldn't get so involved that we destroy these people because basically it ends up
Yeah.
being mass bullying. Like
That's
what
true.
happened to Megan was mass bullying, and it still happens. I mean, there's whole channels who base everything on her. That they could be had like 1 second of a conversation that she's mentioned, and that's the clickbait. And it's just like this is bullying of a person who has said that she has mental health issues, who has said that she's been targeted and all that sort of stuff, and it's been open right there in the media. But it's okay for us to do it because we don't have any sort of connection to that person, and that's what I find really disturbing. Is that because these people are in the limelight or whatever, society has decided that what, we can destroy them and we can bully them and it's okay, but we're telling our children it's not okay to bully. you know It doesn't make
Well,
any
of
sense.
course,
to
I
me.
mean, they do kind of set themselves up for it when they do things like fake car chases and things like that.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
where
but-
the receipts are actually able to be produced. So, you know, I mean, but
yeah, but you got to
I
wonder
know
why
what
they
you're
do that.
saying, and you're right. You're right.
What is it? What is it about society that they do that? You know, and a lot of times it's because if they're not friends with the media and don't give the media what they want, the media is going to do what happened to Harry's mother, chase her to death. And that's why I don't understand why it seems to be okay that we're all really sad about what happened to someone who wasn't part of the actual royal family. She's like a cousin, but anyway, that's Princess Diana. But we're happy to do it to someone who is an outsider. You know, it's the same thing happening. It's different times, but it's okay because she's an American, blah, blah, blah. Princess Kate was treated like an absolute legend. And you know what? She might be. I don't see why we as a society think it's okay to tear down these women, these people, and then tell our children, be nice. Off my soapbox now.
How are you, Crystal?
Yeah.
Still not doing that great, but I at least have a chiropractor appointment for late Friday, so
Okay.
it's gonna be a super long day because I'll do pretty much my full shift at work, and then 2 hours to the city, have the appointment, and 2 hours home.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, my appointment's for 4. So by the time I get home, it'll probably be close to 7 or after.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Well,
And when you're up at
does it
3, that kind of
Oh, yeah. Does it help though? Does it help? Do you think it'll help you with the stress?
it will help with some of the pains. Like I put my back out and my neck out really bad when I did self-harm the last time,
Oh, okay.
and so I need to get put back together again.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm struggling right now with wanting to go there, but one day at a time.
Is there anything that we can do to help you with that you can think of?
Just spending time with people like this helps.
Right on. Good.
If I've got people around me, I can't really go there.
Okay.
It's also difficult because my best friend, or the lady that's been my best friend since about 2012, tomorrow they move to Calgary, which is a good 5 hours away.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's tough.
I'm sorry. That is tough.
Yeah. And then of course with everything else, it just adds to the pile.
Well, you can do this though. You've got this.
Yeah.
You
I
do.
just have to remember one day at a time, one step at a time.
That's it. Maybe even if it's 10 minutes at a time, and then another 10 minutes at a time. You've got this.
And it helps to do Zoom a little bit, because I know the free version is only good for like 45 minutes, but one of my friends lives in Boston, and she moved away a little over a decade ago, but we will do like kind of tour buddy, where sometimes we're not even talking, but we're on headphones together doing our thing. So we can still talk and it's like still involved in each other's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe something like that will help you a little bit. I don't know.
Well, that's what Kim and I have been doing. We talk almost every day, and usually through Facebook video calls.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just I need someone around so that I don't hurt myself. So it's just, even though we're kind of doing our own thing and half the time not talking anymore, it's just having somebody there. So, yeah, it's I just need to get rid of some of the body pain. And I know a lot of it my chiropractor can put back in as
Okay.
long as I'm not too tight.
Right on. Okay.
If I'm too tight, he can't move nothing.
Oh, okay. Does he have methods for getting the muscles relaxed and all that first? And
A little bit. He doesn't do manual adjusting.
okay.
He uses a little machine that's called an activator,
Okay.
and it actually pinpoints places better.
Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way I describe it to people is it looks like, you know, the big needles that they use to scare kids.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It has a plunger on the end that you push down, and the bottom is it's just this round thing that
Yeah.
pushes in and moves just the spots. So, and with discs that keep going out and everything else, yeah, it helps.
I have my physio because I'm all bad. My back and everything's bad as well. But she has to loosen stuff, like push all these certain little buttons, and she'll push it, and I'll be like, ow, 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 and then eventually it will stop. But that actually kind of releases stuff so that she can do things properly. But she has to go around and push all these things, and they go, ow, 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 ow. And it takes me like 2 days to get over physio, and then it only works for another 4 days or 3 days. So by the time I go to physio next time, I'm like, oh, I can't move, you know. So, but it's basically maintenance right now, because otherwise I'd be in so much pain. So pain is depressing because you don't know when it's going to end.
It is. It can drive you out of your ever-loving mind.
Yeah. I can handle almost anything. Pain is what brings me to frustration, tears, which, you know, that's a lie. I cry all the time, but it's like, it's a different type of thing with pain. You can't get away from it. You know, if you, you just can't. So I have lots of baths, lots of showers, and it's still terrible.
The hard part too, I have an extremely high pain threshold, and I found out just how high that pain threshold was in the fall. I went for pretty much the same as a hemorrhoidectomy, and the doctor told me it's going to be painful, it's going to be painful, it's going to be painful. She was surprised when I went back for the 6-week follow-up and said that I had no pain. She's like, what? I've never heard anybody say that they've not had any pain. And I'm like, no pain.
We like no pain.
Unfortunately, it's so high that when I do feel pain, when I do feel pain, it's to the point where I'm wanting to puke.
Yeah, you've done damage at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and can't do showers, can't do hot baths, can't do massage. So I just try and live with it.
It sucks that that's what we're expected to do. You know, pain seems to be something that nobody really cares about. They didn't even think babies had pain for ages. You know, they were like, oh, it's a baby, doesn't have pain. What? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But for people who have to live with pain daily, like, there must be some extreme cases, and they're treated like they're just searching for drugs. And it's just like, well, no, it's searching for pain relief. Any type of relief is enough. I mean, there was a young woman, I think, who's in the UK. I think it might have been the UK. And she opted for euthanasia because she couldn't live with her lifelong pain that she's had ever since she could remember. And that was her choice, you know?
Well, one of the things that gets me, at least when you start getting older, I think this is typical. When you're younger, you start doing something, your body will give you feedback. I get that. You get feedback in the form of pain. That's good. When you get old, sometimes that doesn't happen. Like me, I started, you know what? I'm not losing weight fast enough walking, so I'm going to start jogging. Well, okay, fine. I'm jogging. It's fine. It's like, normal muscle. Oh no. Find out 5 hours after I stop running, I managed to pull or tear a tendon in my foot. And it's like your body doesn't tell you, oh, by the way, you need to stop now. No, that goes away. And it's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, you tore something. Like, a little advance notice would have been helpful in this.
I must be sleeping hard then, because I wake up and I've already sore.
I sprained my back when I was 17, sleeping.
Wow.
Oh my.
I woke up injured from sleeping, having no idea how I got injured.
Now,
I pulled a muscle in my shoulder from coughing because I go, and I just did it wrong, and so I pulled a muscle in my shoulder. Joyce, older.
Michael has woke up sore from sleeping, and he didn't know how it happened, but I can tell you how it happened. Quit snoring.
Shut up.
Tara, you haven't said anything. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I told y'all I was drinking turmeric tea. While Christy's on here, I actually have a question for you, because I had a question yesterday for everybody and I got some really great answers. But I think it was Ben who said Christy might have a good answer to this question. So I was hoping that you would come in today. I'm dealing with a reoccurring tooth infection. I went on an antibiotic, subsided, and then now it's back. And so I'm on an antibiotic again, but I'm also wondering about natural remedies, because if this doesn't clear up on its own in the next 2 weeks, they're recommending a root canal on me, and I don't want to do that. I would rather just hope that my body clears it. So do you have any advice or guidance on how I might speed the healing process up?
I have a couple of things. So one Ben's reactions, he makes my day. I have a couple of things. So one is called oil pulling, and you can just get a jar of coconut oil. Do that a couple of times a day, and put a good chunk, because coconut oil is it's in solid form, and really get with your I'm sorry guys, I'm not trying to be gross, but really get it back in there, because chances are, is it like a back tooth? Is that what it is?
So it was the number 31 was the one that I had extracted. That's the one right in front of my wisdom tooth on the bottom right. And then now the doc says the one next to the one that was extracted is having a problem. And that's the one he wants to do a root canal on if this doesn't resolve itself. So I think that would be number 30.
Okay, so it's still back there. So really get back there. Do the oil pulling. You can do it a couple of times a day. It actually it helps fight cavities. I had a pretty nasty cavity, started doing oil pulling, and it really worked. As it's pulling that out, you might have kind of a bad taste in your mouth. So just make sure, brush your teeth afterwards, or rinse your mouth out. That's important. The other thing that works, and I have no idea why it works. So I had a really nasty situation. I had something infected in my mouth. My tongue swelled up. I couldn't talk. I had canker sores everywhere. It was really horrendous. The doctors didn't even know what it was. They gave me this thing called Magic Mouthwash. And what it is it's liquid Benadryl, liquid lidocaine, and Maalox. Now, I had to get a prescription for it, but you can go to the store and get children's Benadryl and take a double dose of it, and then get the oral care medicated. And so do the Benadryl first, and then the medicated Orajel mouthwash. You can mix them if you want. I didn't. But really get back in there with those two. I don't know what is in Benadryl that helps that, but if you are like, if you're allergic to something or whatever, it actually, when the doctors didn't even know what I had, I think they just gave me this as like some fail clutch thing to try. And it worked, and everything was gone within a couple of days. And this last time I had a really bad toothache, I did the same thing and took like some antibiotics. And man, as soon as I did that Benadryl, it worked. So you can try that. Hydrogen peroxide is another thing that you can try. Make sure, don't swallow it, but rinse your mouth pretty good with that. Now, I will say this. You've got good bacteria and bad bacteria in your mouth. And if you're using hydrogen peroxide or anything that's kind of harsh like that to kill the bacteria, be careful. Like if you do the hydrogen peroxide, just do it like at night. Because what'll happen, and I did this, is you'll kill the good and the bad bacteria in your mouth. And then the bad bacteria takes over, and then kind of the pH of your mouth is out of balance. So you can do the oil pulling, you could do the Benadryl, you know, and you can even do, like I said, the hydrogen peroxide. But truthfully, I had the best luck with the Benadryl. Now with the kids, you know, it's going to be flavored and taste like bubble gum, and it's actually going to taste horrendous. But just doing that 2 or 3 times a day isn't going to hurt you. Don't swallow it. You're just rinsing your mouth with it. And I don't know what was in it, but man, that stuff worked. And it's equal parts liquid Benadryl, liquid lidocaine, and Maalox. And if you've got somebody who will just prescribe that to you, try that, because man, like I said, I don't know what about that stuff worked, but it worked. And then I would just be very mindful of what you eat, because you know, as you're doing that, like things can get stuck, or I don't even know. But also patchouli oil is a not an antibiotic, like an antiseptic, but you have to make sure that it's like medical grade. Like you don't just go buy the stuff off the shelf at Walmart. Like make sure that it, you know, is for you. Any of those I would recommend, but just be careful that you're not doing too much, because in trying to get rid of it, you know, you could actually make it way worse. So I would, you know, the oil pulling is not going to hurt. That's definitely going to help to pull out the infection. Just brush your teeth afterwards. And the liquid Benadryl and everything will help too. This is Michael calling. I'm going to hop back on, but I'm going to hop off for a second so I can answer him. So I will be right back.
Thank you.
Give me a minute.
I think with oil pulling too, I think you want to spit that out, not swallow it.
Yeah, and spit it in the garbage. Don't spit it in the drain.
It'll re-solidify.
Yeah.
Oh, and
okay, so you already knew about that. Okay.
Yeah, I've done it before, but it's been a long time since I've done it.
Same here. I forgot all about it. I used to put a big glob in it and drive to Benson with it in my mouth for like 30 minutes.
Did you see benefits?
I did, and I don't remember what I was taking it for.
Has the salt water helped with any of the pain? Good.
Yes. I did it 4 times after the meeting yesterday, and I haven't even had to take any ibuprofen or Tylenol today. It made a huge difference, and this is the first day that I've tried without ibuprofen and Tylenol. So I think there's definitely... I tried a lot of things. I did the 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C, like you suggested, Carol. I did like Plant Freak, like Stasia suggested. I cleaned my mouth after I ate or drank anything. I gargled with like 2 parts water to 1 part hydrogen peroxide before bed. I've been drinking the turmeric and ginger tea. I did all of that yesterday.
Good deal.
I like the oil pulling idea, adding that in. I don't know if Christy was really passionate about the Benadryl. I just don't know if I want to spend the money on all that stuff right now. Yeah. So
I'm just hopping on here really quick, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm super exhausted, but I wanted to give you guys a tiny update. I finally got a space at the shelter that I was trying to get to.
Yay!
Oh,
You
good
did.
So yes, I called this morning and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the no yet again. And they're like, nope, we'll have something and just give us a call back at 1. So I've been go since about 9 o'clock this morning. I'm a bit exhausted. And there's some different rules here at the house, which is going to be some getting used to. But you know what? It's nothing major. I'm excited that I'm closer to Wee Man, and I'm excited. There's a lake only 30-minute walk away from me now, so I can go down to the water. I can feel more connected. It's going to feel wonderful.
Yes.
So that's all good. I still got to finish setting up all the stuff because over 6 months I have acquired quite a bit, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
It's crazy how that happens, isn't it? It's wild.
It is.
Yeah.
It is because you go from having nothing to go. Where did I get all this crap?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't even realize that there was this much. I had to taxi from one town to the other, and that was about $110.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, that was a bit expensive, but worth it. Long run, it's worth it. And this is a step that I didn't expect to happen before the next serious date that I have coming up. So I'm happy that that's done. It seems as if somebody has experience with the previous shelter I was at and more experience with this one, and she was giving me some advice. So I think I'm going to go back and have a quick conversation with her again. And cell phones they ask you to not bring your cell phones around the house because they're trying to promote conversation. And there's more English speaking here. So there's like 3 English speaking here, which is really nice. Really nice. So if anybody does message me, please know I'm not ignoring. I might just not be in my room. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you this, Stasia, because I haven't been on with you and remembered. But see, this is my pink sheet. It's a dyed sheet.
Oh my god!
Take the hear it, and then you've got little Steve. He's got the shears.
I love it so much. Oh my god!
I'm so it's a pink sheet, and like my mates are like, of course, the sheep being a Kiwi. I'm like, yeah. So I play into those jokes now because it's funny, and I just get them back with like, okay, we'll just leave Skippy alone.
So yeah, I just wanted to update you guys really quick, let you know I'm good. I'm just tired. So hopefully I'm a little bit more centered tomorrow to be able to be here. But tonight I'm really only able to pop on real quick, give the people I love an update, and then head back to trying to get myself situated again.
Well, congratulations.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. So if we can send positive vibes, not towards this situation anymore, towards the apartment, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Why not
The next step, right? The next step. But I'm really grateful, guys. I'm happy that I see so many faces on the screen too. It really makes me feel wonderful. Sorry. It was just
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to say goodnight. And Tara, I'm happy that stuff is working.
Thank you.
I will talk to you guys all very, very soon. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
to see you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yay.
That's really good news.
It is.
Good.
It's so stressful when you don't know when you're going to live. I've been through that, and it's like one of the most stressful things I think a person can deal with.
Housing stress is supposed to be the biggest stress anyone can deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
really hard.
Because without housing or knowing where you're going to be, then how can you start anything else?
Right,
So,
exactly.
And I'm back in limbo myself now. I don't know where I'm going to be or how long I'm going to be here or whatever. And it is stressful because you don't, you know.
Yeah.
The rental market at the moment is crazy still. So, but it should be good because we're going where most people don't want to go, which is where there's not public transport and jobs and all that sort of stuff. So we've got cars, so that's okay.
Just make sure you don't give what's his name your address.
Yeah, my carer's like,
Yeah.
no way, he disrespects you in your house. There's no way he's going to disrespect you in my house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's all good. It's actually cold here at the moment. It's great.
It's cold
is
here
loving
too.
hot here. It is hot here today. Like, I went outside to take the dog for a walk, and I just threw my t-shirt on over my black shirt I had, and I was walking around. I'm like, oh no, not good.
Spring is sprung.
Yes, it has. It has.
Yes, we've got autumn, so that's great. Soon the leaves. Well, we don't even really have deciduous trees. So in other places, I'd be like, oh, this would be like, I don't know, what are those trees that drop the leaves? Are they oak ones or whatever? They're like big.
There's
Yeah,
a few of
deciduous,
them.
but they're like, but there's ones, and you see them in American streets when it's fall over there, and it's like, it's so beautiful. You just want to go run in the leaves.
There's a few trees that change color and drop their leaves. In North America.
Yeah.
Maples do it a lot, at least up here in the north.
Yeah.
And depending on the tree, the leaves have different colors, so it could be red or gold or yellow.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, because you see them change, you know, and it's just like, oh, it's so pretty. Ours is just green or brown.
That's how Southern California was when I was living there. I missed those little fun little transitional seasons of spring and fall.
Yeah, well, you just notice by the I noticed by the clouds. That's the thing I noticed first. The clouds change, and then but it takes ages for the weather. You know, it's just like, is it? We don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go soon because I'm actually not feeling that great today.
I'm sorry you're not feeling good.
I think it's because I've been up too long. I shouldn't have got up at 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh, golly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love you guys, and I'll hopefully see. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be going to my mate's house tonight or what time we're flying tomorrow up north. So I don't know what the service is going to be like up there. So I might. Hopefully I can come on. If not, I'll be in the chat. So
right on.
All right, love you guys.
Awesome.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
She's always so positive.
Yeah. I'm so glad spring is here. This last 5-day power outage was a drag. Yes.
Whoa.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Up in Maine, right?
Tough.
Ouch. So how are you, Christy?
I'm good. I'm doing better. So I've been working on eating. I was actually hungry yesterday, so that is a big step.
That's amazing.
Yeah. By the time that Michael got home, I was like, I'm starving, and he's like, "What? Okay, we're going now." You know, it was like I told him that we were having a baby and my water broke. He's like, "Oh my God, okay." I'm like, I'm still gonna be hungry in like 15 minutes when we get to where we go. It's like, okay. Good Lord. But yeah, so I'm actually starting to get hungry, so that's good. I'm back to it is. I'm back to drinking my flaxseed and cayenne pepper before bed, but I do that so that I don't binge overnight. Because I think part of the reason was when I was binging overnight, then I wouldn't be hungry during the day, you know, and I would kind of rationalize in my mind and like basically, well, I was lying to myself, but I would rationalize it by saying, well, you know, I ate in the middle of the night, so it's not really like I wasn't eating. Although what I was eating was like, you know, a box of chocolate donuts, you know, so not healthy. So that does help me. It actually helps me sleep better, but it also helps me to not be hungry, so I don't wake up hungry. And so that helps a lot. I'm not doing it in the morning because it does suppress your appetite, so then I wouldn't be eating during the day. So I'm not doing it in the morning. But
Okay.
I'm back to doing my yoga and my wall Pilates and
Good.
like my crunches. So I'm not doing it as it used to. I would just, anytime I was standing around or not doing anything, like my stomach crunches, I don't actually like lay on the floor and roll up and do crunches. I suck my stomach in like all the way back to my spine and hold it, and then release it. But I would do it like 50 times. So now I'm doing it like 15 times.
Okay.
So I'm because it does make me feel better, it makes my clothes fit better. So what's
Yeah.
hard for me is the healthy behavior versus the unhealthy behavior. And I mean, this is healthy,
Yes.
but it
Yes.
hasn't crossed into unhealthy. So I'm
Okay.
trying to limit, like, so just doing the flax seeds at night, doing the yoga and wall Pilates and stuff like for a certain amount of time, and then not doing it again and realizing that that's okay to not do it again. So kind of just trying to retrain myself. But I'm feeling better, about myself and about my recovery. And,
Good.
um,
That's
so
great.
I'm glad it didn't get really bad. I mean, I'm glad it kind of got to the point where everything was good. Who are we celebrating?
You! What do you mean, who are we celebrating? Yes!
Big one! Look at the chat. I'm like, who's sober? What's going on?
That's amazing. I'm so happy that you're getting on track. That is so good.
Yeah, and I'm feeling much better. I'm even thinking clearer, like my,
Yeah.
as you don't eat, your brain functions start, like your brain just kind of starts shutting itself down because it doesn't have the fuel to continue. So I'm actually like my thought processes are starting to kind of fire again. So that's good. Yeah.
Life's Good wants to know if you drink smoothies. Evie is a company that have superfood smoothies that I find helpful.
I do drink smoothies.
Oh,
I
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. We have another tiara celebration.
I do drink smoothies. I have to honestly be careful about that because I will see it as a meal. So I have to be very mindful if I'm drinking smoothies. But that's a good, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
4 months this past Sunday, a Rolling Stone. Amazing. That is so awesome. Awesome. Congratulations to Rolling Stone. You did that.
Yes.
You
Because
did that.
I remember when you first came on to Needing a Meeting, you were just like, what, a day sober? Is that right? Was it
Yeah,
just a
something
day
like that.
or
Yeah.
two? Yeah. So that's amazing. Good
It
for
is.
you, Rolling
That is
Stone.
amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Yes, yes. Yeah. That's awesome. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. We did a really good I'm starting to get the groove of my channel. I found I
Yes.
don't really like on screen alone. So I'm like, somebody please come on with me. It's not that I can't talk about it. I just feel really weird being on screen by myself, like talking to an audience. Some people like Terry, you do it great. Relatable Reset, great. I am just like this awkward. I'm like, okay, so, well, it says here, and I don't know, it just doesn't flow for me. I'm like, my research says.
It flowed perfectly fine. You didn't sound as jittery
Awkward.
as you think. Although it didn't help the technology stuff. That's always a way to derail anybody's confidence. It's like you start getting technical stuff, like, oh crap.
Oh, well, and I
We've
really
gotten
thought I
some
had it
feedback.
this time.
Sandy Wendy said Christy's channel was so fun today, and it was.
Yeah.
I heard most of it. We were driving, and Steve put it over the speakers. He has an adapter thing that'll let the phone play through the speakers.
You got
I was
back
on
from,
somebody's stereo.
Yes, you
Wow.
were. Yes, you were.
I like it.
you got back from your second U.S. tour pretty quickly there, Carol. I'm impressed.
It was a test run.
Mm.
That was
Test
awesome.
market.
Oh, good, really. So good.
It's
Yeah. So
amazing.
it was fun. I had fun. I'm having fun trying to find my flow and what I want it to be, and I'm finding that it's a little different from the boat and meeting to meeting, but not super different. We're going to be talking about self-esteem and
Mm.
self-care. So, that kind of thing.
Sandy Wandy says, let us know the day and time for Roswell. We're all gearing up for that.
Oh yes, oh, that'll be so fun. I've got to do some research on it. I actually have been to Roswell a few times, so I'm gonna kind of do a little deep dive into it, and pull out my conspiracy theory hat and really put it.
Another victory.
um,
My mechanic of many years loves my Cannabomb, and he's going to sell it from at his shop. Congratulations
yeah,
on that too.
yeah.
Yes.
Cannabomb. What's a cannabomb?
It's like a pain cream.
Oh, okay.
With hemp or cannabis. Truly conversations. Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
something. Oh, go ahead, Carol.
No. I was just gonna start kicking around the Roswell thing. Don't get me started.
Wait. Here, hold on. Okay, go.
I haven't heard about the Roswell thing.
Me either.
Roswell, New Mexico. It's a super secret military base where it's been always rumored since the thing that nobody saw in 1947, the weather balloon crashed, and there was a non-alien entity on the ship, and so the rumors have always been that Area 51 was created around that UFO alien crash. And so it's where they're storing all the super secret alien stuff that's come to Earth.
So is Roswell Area 51?
No, Area 51
No.
in Nevada.
Oh,
Roswell's
that's right.
in
New
Mexico.
Roswell's where the
But,
crash happened.
but they
Yeah.
say Area 51 has the UFO. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what.
That's the
what
And they
connection.
won't
Yeah.
even let you near Area 51. But
Yep.
in Roswell, they've got pictures of alien, like statues of aliens
Yeah.
and all of that. Like it's really but yeah. So
What were you
was
going to
that your
say, Tara?
question?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What were you gonna-
Oh, so I take my. It's not related to Roswell at all because I was thinking the reason I asked was because I thought maybe there was some new news or something like that. Like, I thought something happened and I was like, I don't know what's going on there, but okay. So, anyways, tomorrow I take my peer support specialist test.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm excited. So I won't be here. I'll be testing during this time, but I'm like, I wish that I could be like, ask me a question, ask me any question, but
So what
Send out some ones for Tara for tomorrow for her test, y'all.
Yes, I would love ones for the test. Thank you, Carol.
When you take your test, what does that mean? Like,
yeah, okay. So good question, Christy. So I'm currently a certified peer support specialist because I graduated from the training course and I earned the certification. But the test will give me the ability to bill Medicaid. So I'm in California, so it's Medi-Cal here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the process of starting my own agency. It's in the
Okay.
very beginning stages. I'm just trying to figure out
Wow.
what the heck
Wow.
is going on and everything that needs to be done. But eventually I will, because hopefully I pass this test tomorrow. And
Yeah.
eventually I would like to be able to provide service to people who cannot afford it on their own. Those are the people I think that really could benefit
Yes.
from my service probably the most. Maybe
Absolutely.
not in every case, but like if someone has cash to pay for the service, then it's like they're not doing too bad, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, everybody needs help sometimes. So, but anyways, it's simply put, it will give me the ability to bill Medi-Cal. And that's something that I want to do independently, outside of like working for someone else.
So, two things. One, you've got this. You're going to pass it with
Yeah.
flying
Thank
Yeah,
colors.
you
you.
are.
I hope so. I hope
It's
so.
going to be great. My friend Clay Reedy, who I'm talking to on Friday, started his own medical practice. So if you're looking to get maybe some advice or some insight or some, hey, I tried this and it failed, when you get to that point, reach out to me because I can put you in touch with him. Now he's in Florida. I understand you're in California, but he might be able to give you some just really basic things, or you might be able to talk to him about some things since you guys are both kind of dealing with insurance and medical. And
Yeah.
he said there was a lot of stuff he didn't know.
Yeah.
Because like his dad started his own business, but it wasn't a medical practice. And there was a lot of stuff with the medical stuff that he had to take into consideration. So when you get there, let me know and I'll pass on your information. I'll exchange information and he's a wonderful man, and I know he would absolutely help you if he was able.
Right
So,
on. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Like but you're gonna do great. You're
Yeah.
gonna.
I hope so. It's not the type of test where it's like I'm shooting for an A. You know, I'm shooting to pass, and they never it's a pass or fail test. So they never disclose what that threshold is. Like they don't tell you you need a 75 to pass or you need an 80 to pass. It could be an 85. I have no idea what the passing score is. Nobody knows. But it could be, but I'll find out immediately. So I'm going to take so before I moved into this new place, I thought I was going to have to drive an hour to take the test. Either there's like 2 locations near me, but they're both an hour away. And so I'm excited that I moved into this new place and I have a stronger internet connection now because I'll be able to take it from the comfort of my own home. And I have this nice new desk and chair, and I tested the system and everything is ready to go. And I don't know, does this happen to you? I'm having deja vu right now. Does that happen to anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
really?
Yeah, I get deja.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm not alone in that.
No.
But I appreciate all the encouragement, and that's really all I had. I'm just like a little nervous about it, but I feel pretty good about it. Like I'm going to pass it. So.
No, you will. You will.
We'll see.
Sandy Waney says she has a friend who has an online app that can be used for coaching. If interested, let her know.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I think that is it. I am interested in that. Yeah, I am interested in that because what I'm doing is not coaching per se, but it's like I see it. There's parallels, like Christy was saying. There's parallels with the medical industry just because of the billing and everything. How can I, Sandy? How do you want?
If you want to, Sandy, if you want to click on my email in my about page, I may even have it on the description of this video. I can send your email to I can respond with her email, Sandy, if you want to email me.
Awesome.
Does that work?
You. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. Mischief, are you doing okay? I just see some comments.
Sounds like you're going through it, Mischief, and I'm sorry you have been.
Yeah, it says, I have concerns for a family member who is worried about meds for the condition. She wants to keep the mania and leave the lows, and I don't think that's possible.
I'm not sure it is either.
I don't think so. Because, well, and the
Yeah.
reason that I say that is, you know, so depending on what you're talking about, you've got the chemicals in your brain that alter, and you're not really able to isolate that, you know. So you can't just, I don't know how you would be able to isolate that, or
I don't
you know,
think
because
I
the
don't.
idea
And I get it. I
it's
used to have some mania events that were just like, oh, I mean, you know, they just never lasted long enough to be able to do anything of worth, you know, for me. But you know, the first and only time I ever did actual cocaine, I was at a party, and I did it with 2 other people, and the guy who brought it was just going on and on and on about how great and how pure it was, and I'm like, I could drink an espresso at certain times of my life and just be the same as what I am right now exactly, you know?
It's really common.
I get it.
And it's very common for people to want to keep that euphoria, but
Yeah.
lose. It's really common.
There is no drug that really does it like that, like that used to do it for me.
And mania, I mean, let's be honest too. Mania can be a little dangerous depending on how your mania manifests. Like, I have one friend who, she goes out and she spends money, but she buys 3. Like, she doesn't just buy 1 truck, she buys 3 trucks. She doesn't buy 1 dog collar, she buys 3. And her dad was the same way. So her mania is not getting everything done. It's, you know, spending. And maybe one of the things, Mischief, you might, I mean, just a thought, not a doctor, I don't know anything, but is, if she feels like she's getting more done during the mania, like, that could just come from organization, you know, like being organized and having a schedule and like crossing things off and seeing and
Well, some of
feeling.
it's motivation too, though, and it's motivation is one of the hardest things to find in depression.
Does
You
B12
know?
help with that? I mean,
Mhm.
I'm asking honestly, does B12 help with motivation to like give you energy, or no?
In my case, since my depression was not situational, it's been an ongoing thing of my life. No.
Really?
No, not really. I mean, not that it hurts, but it didn't make a difference in that way.
I see. I get what you're saying.
I found with the COVID, it was one of the things I did take regularly was a sublingual B12, and it did help a little bit with the fatigue, but it didn't make so much of a difference that, I mean, I think I probably needed it because, you know, when they do the recommended daily allowance, that's usually on the low end. And so I probably needed more anyway. But I kind of feels like the yin and yang of life. You've got to have good with the bad, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure that they didn't hurt me, but they did not help me in that way that I, you know, in any marked way.
I think Crystal asked a good question. Isn't the mania just about hard on your system as the depression is?
Absolutely.
And says emotionally, it's a lot more fun to be manic.
Yeah, it is. But it's just as hard on your body, and it makes the depression even all the more devastating because now you're
what I thought.
you just went through. In addition to just being depressed.
And also, like Christy was saying, it can be really dangerous to have a condition like that be untreated, because when you transition from the lows to the highs, people have a really significant increase in self-harm during that time, because they have the energy to do something now, and they've just been through this miserable time period, and so now they're feeling energy, and self-harm is highly probable. So
I have
Yeah.
something to say about this because I actually have mania myself. Being it's nothing to do with bipolar. It turns out it's my autism, and mania is something that happens during burnout and all that sort of stuff. So I know what mania feels like. And I don't really get depressed, so I don't have the depression feeling. I've never really been low. I've either been middle, slightly below low, or really high, except for situational things. That's when, situational stuff you can't really help. But my mother, she's definitely bipolar, and she put us through hell because she loved her mania, and it was risk-taking behaviors, spending money. I had new uncle all the time, and it's dangerous. It is dangerous, just as Krista said, and it destroys lives. And it's not just the person who has the conditions life it can destroy, but everyone around them as well. Because living with a bipolar person who was untreated, who would rather be manic than be treated, is hell, because you're walking around on eggshells, and it's terrible. And I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. And the only way I got through to my mother that she was bipolar and I didn't want anything to do with her unless she treated it was saying it. I had to say that, because I said, you make our lives hell, And
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't think she did it. It's not intentional. She's not out there going, "Oh, I'm going to destroy my kids' lives because I've got this mental health condition." That's not her fault.
Right.
But you only know when you're told. You don't know what you don't know, and if people don't know what their condition is doing to you, they'll never know. And that's actually why I got sober, is because I found out what was my drinking was doing to other people, because I didn't know. And that's one of the most important things you can ever do to someone, is say, this is what you're doing. I will support you if you get help for it. But if you don't get help, I can't support you anymore because it's ruining me.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And I just want to interject. I have two friends that have bipolar, and they both have whichever one is I think it's bipolar. I don't know. I'm not gonna guess what they have. They both have
Bipolar affective 1 is where they have psychosis. Bipolar affective 2 is more less of the psychosis, but they do have the mania.
I think they have two, or one has one and one has two. I'm not sure. They both have bipolar though. One, she is not medicated, but she has figured out how to manage her life. The other one cannot go unmedicated. She cannot go without therapy, and she cannot go without medicine. And I love her dearly, but over Christmas, she is the one that I spent 3 days with, convincing her that her life is worth living. And I can tell you that was hell on me. It was hell on her. Now, she came back and she said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry I put you through that. I'm back on my medication. I'm going to therapy. I'm not going to do that again." So I am really big, just because I see both of them, see the difference in them. If you are someone who has to be treated for it, I know it, to know that you've got to take a medication for the rest of your life. But please, for your own health, if that's what you need to do, please do that. And
also,
my other one, like I said,
successful self-management is actually treated. So if you're sleeping and you're doing everything that you need to keep yourself on an even keel, that's treated. Untreated is when you're not seeking any sort of assistance or help for it, or not even recognizing that it's causing you issues. That's when it's untreated.
Right.
Yeah. And my one friend, she literally, like, you can tell when she's not, like, I will get to the point, I'm like, you good? You taking your meds? Like, and there's a few people in my life. I have one person in my life that is, bipolar, that can't be off meds. I've got one person who's schizophrenic and borderline personality, and one person who's got OCD and ADHD and PTSD. They all are medicated, and so I'm like, you take meds, you good, everything's fine, because that's important, because when you start feeling good, you start thinking that you don't need the meds, and then that's
Or you just forget. A lot of times you can just forget, and it's helpful.
Yeah, or your medication says it can't be refilled until this day, and you remember on this day. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but for me personally, like just sharing my own personal experience dealing with some of this, it's very hard to be that person. Like literally the hardest part was, I mean, God, trying to convince somebody that their life is worth living is a very difficult place.
Yeah.
It is.
And I'm thankful and so thankful that she reached out. Like I could not be more thankful, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I don't want to, but I would. And that's kind of, anything that I say isn't necessarily coming from experience as much as dealing with family and people that I love that deal with some of those. And
Yeah.
I just want
I'm
everybody
glad
to
you
have
convinced
their
a friend.
Yes.
Sorry, because
Yes.
my stepfather was bipolar, and he was unmedicated. He went through a bit of a breakup with my mother that was terrible, and I was in the middle of both of them, trying to convince both of them to stay alive. I didn't succeed with my stepdad.
Oh, girl.
But
Sorry.
So sorry.
It is what it
Cosmic.
is.
I know.
I just want to say, if ever anyone is ever feeling the need to reach out, even though it's hard for the person who is dealing with it, it's better for the person who's dealing with it to know that you need help, so that we can find services or find something. Just don't suffer through anything alone, or think that your worst moment can't get better, because it can. You just need to wake up the next day. Don't do a permanent, quote unquote, solution to a temporary problem. Yeah. I did have a bit of
That's
difficulty.
That's a really hard thing to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go. No, I was just going to say, I do have a bit of difficulty when people say it's a selfish act, because when you're in the moment, I don't think you're not thinking about anybody.
it. Yeah, you're not. You're not thinking. All you want is for the torment to not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't see any other way for it to not be there in that moment.
And I used to think it was terribly selfish. And I was going to be one of those selfish people, but I admitted that it was selfish. It was not a very nice thing to do to your family and friends. But having known my stepfather and knowing who he was as a person and how lovely and just brilliant he was, if he knew the amount of pain that he left behind, he never would have done it. He would have suffered through it just so that we didn't suffer. And what sort of life is that? Suffering so that you don't put everybody else through it. So I've come to terms with it. I don't think it's selfish of him. But people are welcome to their opinion. I just think sometimes I should just be a little bit less forceful as far as it's selfish, because there are a lot of people who are left behind who love these people, and we're told that they're going to hell and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, these people are great people. They just made a decision that hurt. And we all make decisions that hurt. Some of them are just the last one someone can make, help helps, and you can only get help if you ask for it, especially if nobody else knows you need it. So sorry I got so deep on that. It's just that
That's okay.
It's something. Mental health is something that is a kind of, it's a stigma, but it's also something that we should talk about more freely without there being fear of being judged for
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
I
find, like, for myself, like, I have borderline personality, and one of the symptoms is the ideation. And at one point, it was to the point where the ideation was all the time. And it was the days that I didn't notice the ideation there that I really had to be concerned. As things have gotten a little more steady, it's gotten better.
Why did you have to be more concerned on the days you didn't notice it? Do you mind if I ask?
I think it was because those are usually the days when you're more likely to do something.
Okay.
When I had my attempt, all I was doing was relieving stress.
Did it go too?
Yeah.
So did you take it too far on accident, or were you really like, this is, I'm gonna do this to relieve stress? You don't have to say you don't want to.
I knew what I was doing was to relieve stress, and when it ended up becoming an accident, I was diving into a hotel pool.
Oh.
And you're not supposed to dive in hotel pools, especially if you don't know how to shallow dive.
Oh no.
But later that night, even after, like, I hit my head pretty hard and I felt the jolt go through my spine. And as I stood up, I looked around and everyone was kind of looking at me, and I went over to where my aunt was sitting in the hot tub, and I said, "Everybody's looking at me funny." She says, "Well, you're bleeding," and she touched my head. And I recoiled back because the salt and chlorine on her hand into the wound just really hurt. But later that night, I ended up in tears, and thankfully I was able to explain away the tears to my mom and dad. It had been at my one brother's wedding, and great aunt and uncle were leaving the next day, and I probably wouldn't see them. I didn't think I'd ever see them again. And so I was able to explain that, yeah, the tears are because I'm going to miss them. But in my head, I kept thinking, I can't even do that right. I can't even do that right.
Oh no. Oh no.
So
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, Crystal.
But it's
I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're still here.
And
My
it makes
goodness,
complete sense, you know.
Yeah.
Because you saying that you have to be careful more so when you don't have the ideation. Because my daughter is BPD as well. She constantly had ideation, self-harming inclinations, all that sort of stuff. But when she wasn't talking about it, that's when I was more worried, because that's what happened with my stepdad as well. Because the few days beforehand, we went to Dreamworld, which is a theme park over here, and he seemed to be okay. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't have to talk him out of anything for those few days beforehand, and there was a little bit of relief for me. I didn't know that when people make the decision, there's a sense of calm that come over them.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
So, and even if he hadn't made it properly in his head, there was a sense of calm and peace around him before.
I've experienced that.
It makes complete sense.
The truth. Yeah. Because you found, you found some kind of power in a powerless situation. It's a false sense of power, but you get to make and control what's happening, and when I had ideations, and it was more than ideations, I was seriously figuring which way, as soon as I made that decision, just this calm came over me.
Yeah.
So I get it. Yeah. And the challenge became for me, how do I maintain this sense of having the control and having this peace going forward,
Yeah.
I think it might be a different sense though, because when you make that decision, as I have before, it's the last decision you decide, except for all the ones, before you get to that point. So it's like, it's a bit different to going into a situation where there's not going to be an ending, So I think it might be a little, even a different sort of calmness to it, because it's like, well, I don't have to worry about anything anymore. So this is it. All I have to do is say goodbyes and make sure everyone's okay before I go. And I'm not, and I feel like that's a terrible place for anybody to be in, It's so terrible. And that's what I said, if you feel like you're in that sort of space, reach out to anyone. And
you know what? But that's the last thing you want to do.
I know.
In that situation, it's the very last thing you want to do, because
you feel like
you've made your decision.
You feel like you're not worthy, and that everybody else would be better off if you weren't around.
I think that's what my stepdad felt in the end, which is not true at all. Everyone has someone who loves them.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that that's not true of everyone. Even Hitler had people who loved him. So
the 25th anniversary of my attempt, I did a couple very special things, or one I did and one I tried to do. We'll put it that way. The first thing that I tried to do was I went back to the hotel where it had happened, and I wanted to actually go and sit in the pool room. But when I went and I asked and explained to them why, they didn't have a pool anymore. The area where the pool had been turned into conference rooms because they were more a convention center now. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I still sat in front of the hotel and just calmed and remembered and everything. And then the second thing I did was I got my tattoo. Really hard to see. It's my daughter's name.
Okay.
My daughter's name, Chandel. And then the cross for my faith, and the butterfly with the semicolon.
Okay, I was going to wonder. I was going to ask if there was a semicolon in there.
Yeah, semicolon for my attempt, and butterfly for my healing journey.
Right on.
So, I'd also like to get a little. Someday, I want to get a little turtle, because, well, I grew up in a community with turtle in the name, and with turtles, they have to stick their head out to move forward. And so I see it very symbolic of the healing journey.
Yeah.
You have to actually stick your head out where it's uncomfortable and not as safe to be able to move forward.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I like it too. I do. I'm so glad you're still.
Sorry?
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. When I walked into emergency over 12 hours later, the doctor looked at me and he said, most people in your situation come in here either dead or paralyzed. And I laughed and I said, yeah, I know. And just completely laughed it off. I had a good concussion.
Okay.
So.
That's right. Plus, turtles are really cool. This is a Rolling Stone.
Yep.
They really are.
I've always
Speaking
liked
turtles. Where I'm going, they're allowed to hunt turtles. I'm not going to partake. But yeah, they're actually allowed. They're traditional landowners or island owners. So they're allowed to hunt turtles and dugongs and all that sort of stuff. I think dugongs are like American manatees. But it's essential. Like, I saw there's for a pack of 12 toilet paper up there was $32, and you can get it down here for like $9. So, and things of spaghetti, like tins of spaghetti, they're like $6-7, and I can get them for 99 cents. So, the food up there is really expensive. So they have to rely on their traditional ways of hunting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, when you said turtles, I was thinking, oh, that's right. They do turtle hunts up there. I'm just hoping that I'm not going to have to go on one of those because it's part of their culture. So I don't want to be disrespectful, but I also know what I can handle, and I can't handle blood, so I can do it. But yeah, it's just I think it's great. I love the turtle symbology, and I didn't know they had to stick their heads out to move forward, but it makes a lot of sense because it'd be really hard swimming with your head in the shell.
Yeah.
Also, the tortoise beat the hare in that race, and I've been told that I was a tortoise, and I'm okay with that. At first I was like a little like looked at him a little sideways, but I'm cool. I'm cool with being the tortoise. That's all right.
I think they're great.
Yeah. Most of us who have had any type of trauma, we almost become like a turtle because we go into that shell and into ourselves to protect ourselves.
Yes.
So we've already got that shell that
I'm a snapping turtle.
ooh, those are nasty.
I know, but they're cute too. They're so cute.
They are.
Although I wouldn't recommend looking up turtles mating in Google. It's very, very traumatic. Pretty funny, but it's also traumatic. Yeah, Tara, that's the same face I made. If I was like, ugh.
One of the YouTube channels that I watch talks about reptiles and stuff, and so yeah, he's shown the mating.
Love you, Rolling Stone. Naughty puppy. Oh.
Good to see you, a Rolling Stone. And tell that puppy hey and to behave.
I'm glad too, Janet.
Good to see you, Rolling Stone.
Yes, it was and is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how my daughter's doing now. I'm hoping that she's okay. I'm assuming you're welcome, Mischief.
I'm so glad too.
If you like.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure if there's something going on with my daughter, I'd find out. So I'm pretty sure she's okay. I'm going by no news is good news.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Have we had a meeting?
Yep.
So?
Yeah, definitely. Good meeting. Real good one.
I just want to say good luck for tomorrow, Tara.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
good luck,
I accidentally
Tara.
typed out Tata. Sorry about that.
Wait, can you repeat that? I missed what you said.
I accidentally wrote out exciting Tata, and I'm like, sorry.
Oh my God. I have an embarrassing story about that. So I was in the process of applying for a job like a year ago, and I signed my name to an email Tata and didn't realize it until after. It was like, warm regards, Tata. I was like, oh. And I didn't even notice it until like the next day. I was like, well, I'm not getting that job.
Well, ta-ta for now.
Yeah, that's not what I was thinking, but yeah, sure, that works too.
Yeah, either way, I like both perspectives. But thank you for all the encouragement. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I have good news to report the next time I see y'all.
You let them know who it is they're dealing with. You tell them who you are.
Don't you know I'm Tara Smiling?
Yeah.
Well, your store says not approved, but I can't believe I said that. That's not going to happen. I think I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to pass.
You're going to.
Yeah, don't let them give you lip, or else you tell them you're fired, mister. You just pack up your bags and leave.
Yeah. How could you say something like that to Tata Smiling?
Right? I gotta get off. My son's wandering around like an alien. So.
Okay, I'm gonna jump off too. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Have a great day. See you
You
soon.
too.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you too, Cosmic.
Bye, guys.
Oh, that was interesting. Well, you know it's coming up. I have no life. I have to live through you. My proxy. So, to that end, how's the donkey doing?
Donkey was a little bit ornery this morning, but in a cute way. So I had him a couple of carrots to get him out of the barn and into the pasture. And I opened a different door to let the goats out. So, I would put him out that way, but he has to jump. And, I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing to make him do every day. And because it's kind of rocky and a little bit unstable there. And he hasn't gotten the walking down the steps thing. The goats do just great with it. And so he came in today. And of course, when he comes in the side door, it throws a monkey wrench in getting the girls out because they don't want to get anywhere near him. What's he doing here?
You don't have any more baby goats anymore, do you?
No. I may have a couple on the way, but she hasn't delivered yet. I'm a little concerned. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when they have them, feel free. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just suggesting you would feel better if you were to take some more pictures and post them.
You know what? I really should. I really should get some of those, some more pictures of him online because he's a cutie. He's an absolute cutie, little ornery cutie. Janet G, it's been my experience that when the dog is running out toward the woods barking, he'll run right alongside him and he'll just he'll bray in a real kind of way. I know no coyote wants to tangle with that. And I've been losing a lot less chickens since I've had him. And he's in the pasture where the chickens tend to hang out. So, yeah.
Well, I do hope you have yourself a most awesome day, as always. And
you too, Ben.
I hope everything stays entertaining on your farm.
Right on. Well, it's raining right now, so everybody's kind of miserable, but they'll be all right.
You take care.
You too. Had some Highland cattle for a while, and when one cow calved, I was terrified. Yeah, that's a really tricky time for cows and calves. Goats can give birth fairly quickly because they're a little bit easier prey because they're smaller, and so evolution is just kind of seen to it that they, like my girl goat that just gave birth to kids. She was down just before the show, and I went to check her in the middle of the stream here, and she'd already had both her babies. And they were all up and ready to go. So yeah, but cows have a longer, slower, harder time of it. They sure do. So now it's just game birds. Aw. Has children, his own farm. Love goats. Yeah, I do too. Goats can give birth on the side of a mountain. This they can. Yep, it's true. Well, you guys, it's been a terrific, awesome meeting. Thank you so much for being part of it. I love you guys very, very much. And I love this community. I love you guys. It's just never what it's meant to be without you guys being here. So thank you. Hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.